Police are investigating what is believed to be a murder-suicide. At around 7 AM on Monday the 11th of September, authorities responded to a home at 2100 Anthony Place Southwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a welfare check. When deputies arrived at the premises, they tried to make contact with people inside. After receiving no response, they entered the unlocked residence and found a man and woman in their 20s deceased with gunshot wounds. Preliminary findings suggest that 27-year-old Harvey Almanza fatally shot 21-year-old Hannah Mae Slavin before turning the gun on himself. Hannah's family, who are from Lebanon Junction, Kentucky, said that Hannah was on vacation in New Mexico when she was killed. No further details are provided on the case, as the investigation into the matter continues. A 22-year-old man is behind bars for fatally shooting an 18-year-old man. At around 10 PM on Sunday the 10th of September, authorities responded to a residence at 400 South Grant Street in Cabot, Arkansas, and reports of shots fired. When officers arrived, they entered the premises and found Aaron Hall in a critical condition lying on the bedroom floor with a gunshot wound to his right side. Medics rushed him to the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences in Little Rock, where he later died. Authorities identified Brandon Huff as a suspect and issued a warrant for his arrest for first-degree murder, possession of firearms by certain persons, and discharging a firearm in the city. At 9 AM on Tuesday the 12th of September, Brandon turned himself in at the Cabot Police Station. Brandon is held at the Lonoke County Jail without bond. The motive of the attack is unclear, as the investigation into the matter continues. 32-year-old Amy Marie Kemper is behind bars after bringing her 11-year-old son to a hotel room where she drank, used narcotics and engaged in sex with two men, one of whom died in bed just feet away from where the child was sleeping. At 9:39 AM on Sunday the 10th of September, authorities responded to the Hammock Beach Golf Resort and Spa, located at 200 Ocean Crest Drive in Palm Coast, Florida, for a medical emergency call. Upon arriving at the scene, paramedics attempted life-saving measures on the 60-year-old unresponsive adult male, but despite their best efforts, the man was unable to be saved. Deputies spoke to Amy, who said she'd been staying in the hotel room with the deceased man and another 52-year-old man. Investigators said that Amy had her 11-year-old son with her at the scene. The cause of death was not immediately clear. Authorities said they found marijuana, Viagra pills, burnt blunts and cocaine inside the room. Numerous sex toys were located in the bathroom, and condom wrappers were located near the bed. In an interview with detectives, Amy said she met up with 5 men at a bar the previous night, where they stayed until about 2 AM, before picking her son up from his grandmother's house and going back to the hotel room. They all drank, smoked, and did cocaine until 3 of the men left, so that she and the 2 remaining men could have group sex in the room. Amy said that before engaging in the threesome, they attempted to put the couch her son was sleeping on into a closet and covered up the door with a sheet so he wouldn't hear or see the sexual activities occurring. Sometime after their sexual activities ceased, Amy said she heard what sounded like the 60-year-old man having a medical episode, but the noises soon stopped and they decided he was sleeping. Amy and the 52-year-old man then left the room at around 5 AM and were gone for hours, leaving her son behind. When they returned at around 9:25 AM, they found the 60-year-old man unresponsive and cold in bed, which is when they called 911. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley said that Amy thought it would be okay to bring a child to the resort in the middle of the night so she could engage in narcotic use and sexual activities, and leaving her son in the room with the deceased man for several hours until she came back. Department of Children and Families responded to the scene and took the 11-year-old child into custody. It's unclear where the child's father is. Amy was arrested and charged with 1 count of child neglect without great bodily harm. She's held at the Flagler County Jail on a $15,000 bond, with the condition that she has no contact with her son. The investigation into the matter continues. 24-year-old Tagi Alexandra is behind bars for abandoning her 3-year-old daughter. At around 2:50 AM on Tuesday the 12th of September, a passerby found a young girl sitting in an unattended stroller in front of a Bank of America along the 100 block of North Larchmont Boulevard and Larchmont Village neighborhood of Los Angeles, California, and alerted the authorities. When officers arrived, they were unable to locate the child's parents but discovered Tagi's ID stuffed inside the stroller. The child was taken to hospital for evaluation and was considered to be in good health. The child was reunited with her father, but Tagi remained missing. On Wednesday the 13th of September, officers located Tagi at a workplace and she was arrested. She's charged with felony child endangerment and is held on a $105,000 bond. Police are searching for 2 suspects in connection to the fatal shooting of a man in an apparent gang-related attack. At 2:50 a.m. on Sunday the 10th of September, authorities responded to a mobile gas station at 1465 South Main Street in Santa Ana, California on reports of shots fired. When officers arrived, they located an unresponsive man in a vehicle with a gunshot wound to his upper torso. The victim, who was identified as 31-year-old Angel Fragoso, was pronounced dead at the scene. A woman who was with Angel told investigators that they drove to the gas station, and when they got out to switch places, a gunman and another suspect approached them and asked them what gang they were from. Angel was then shot in the upper torso. No arrests have been made to date, and police continue to search for the suspects as the investigation into the matter continues. 22-year-old Darian Helmann-Toller is behind bars in connection to the death of a 12-day-old infant son. At just before 9 a.m. on Tuesday the 12th of September, authorities responded to an apartment in the 200 block of Chess Street in Monongahela, Pennsylvania after Darian called 911 to report that a child wasn't breathing. A 911 dispatcher center relayed that the caller was not communicating with dispatchers and was refusing to perform CPR on the child. When authorities arrived, the baby boy was found unresponsive with blood coming from his nose and injuries to his face and neck. He also had a cut on his forehead, which Darian claimed to be from his long fingernails. Blood was seen on Darian's shirt, while investigators came across a bloody paper towel in the bathroom. They also found 2 alcoholic drinks on 2 separate tables on the front porch of the apartment. When asked if she drank both of them or if another person lived there, she said she lives alone. Darian said that she'd been sleeping in bed with her son and woke up at around 4 a.m. to feed him before going back to bed. Darian was said to have been hysterical while speaking to officers and stayed inside the apartment while medics tended to the child. While talking to police, she indicated that if her baby was dead, then she wanted to go to jail, otherwise she would kill herself. The baby was transported to a local hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Doctors reported seeing blue-greyish colouring on the front of the neck and around the mouth of the child. During an interview, Darian told investigators that she may have rolled over and onto the baby while she slept. Darian was arrested the same day and charged with criminal homicide, aggravated assault, child endangerment and reckless endangerment. She's held at the Washington County Jail without bond. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for the 20th of September. The investigation into the matter continues. 49-year-old Abra McDonald is behind bars for leaving her 67-year-old mother Karen McDonald on the floor for several weeks and refusing to call for help when she fell. On the 8th of September, Abra was indicted for knowingly abusing or neglecting an adult in connection with her mother's fall and subsequent death in June. On the 27th of June, authorities responded to Karen's home in Somerset, Kentucky, and transported her to hospital after learning she had been in the same spot on the floor where she had fallen several weeks prior. Karen died the next day due to physical trauma she sustained. Investigators learned that Karen lived with her daughter Abra, and that Abra made no attempts for several weeks to contact someone to assist her mother in getting up from the floor, despite having a cellular phone service and neighbours nearby. The house also didn't have any running water. Authorities said that sepsis and other causes of neglect led to Karen's death. Lieutenant Matt Bryant of the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office said she did supply with some foods, things like that, but living on the floor was the most detrimental to her health. Abra is held at the Pulaski County Jail on a $250,000 bond. The investigation into the matter continues.